Ladies and gentlemen, it is Victory Monday. The Buffalo Bills end up beating the New England Patriots last afternoon, yesterday. Ugly as hell, but let me tell you what, man, I'm feeling pretty damn confident, all right? Because I know a team that has championship DNA that just so happens to win ugly each and every single week, all right? We witnessed the Buffalo Bills playing Kansas City Chiefs football, baby. We saw the Buffalo Bills play Kansas City Chiefs football this Sunday, and the Buffalo Bills are currently 12-3. And I'll tell you what, we found a couple of interesting tidbits out of the Josh Allen press conference, and then also um, based off of the performance that we saw last night. Now, would we have wanted to have a better outing against the New England Patriots? Absolutely. 110%. We would have loved that. But at the end of the day, all that matters is that we, again, are sitting at 12-3. The 2 seed is looking to be a lock, an absolute lock. I feel like all of us have already accepted the fact that that is where we are going to be playing within the playoffs. And on today's episode, I want to go on ahead and go through all the statistics, poll the chat, and see how everybody is feeling this morning. And just a general Q&A, baby. Listen, it is the day before Christmas Eve, 2 days before Christmas. The holiday season is all around us, and I am looking forward to unpacking absolutely everything with you guys this afternoon. Now, let me tell you what, guys, if your feelings are hurt, all right, from the Buffalo Bills defense and performance yesterday, unfortunately, I can't help you there. But if, for example, you are ever in a car accident, if you were hurt in a car, you better call William Matar, #1 car accident attorney in the state of New York. All right. This is a very unfortunate situation, but if you ever find yourself to be in a car accident and you are in New York, the only call that you need to make is William Matar. His phone number is right on the screen, 844-444-4444, in case you need the best representation in the state of New York. Shout out to William Matar for sponsoring today's show and for the remainder of the year, a proud sponsor of the channel for the remainder of the year, man. We're going to be making this work. We have Cool Ducky coming in saying a win is a win. A win is a win, ladies and gentlemen. No one's going to remember the struggles behind the box score in 2 years. All they're going to do is look at the Buffalo Bills record and say, damn, that team was 12-3. We are completely fine. The defense is not Super Bowl caliber, ... dude. So, Bill, why don't you go on ahead and just give up? Like, just stop watching. Like, just don't watch another snap of Buffalo Bills football in 2024 if that's how you're feeling right now. You know what I mean? I hate to be harsh, but this is exactly how I talk to my friends, right? Like, when my friends are acting a bit sensitive, I like to bring them back to reality, ladies and gentlemen. Because when I look at the Buffalo Bills defense, yes, did we struggle at first? Did a rookie QB go out there and score quite a bit? Yeah, he certainly did. But context is wildly important, right? We were again missing our starting safeties. All right. We also were missing our starting CB2 out on the outside. And let's be completely honest with you. What do you think this Buffalo Bills team #1 priority is? Our #1 priority right now is to make sure that we stay as healthy as humanly possible going into the playoffs. Otherwise, we would have seen a lot of these players playing against the New England Patriots. The more and more that I look at this game and the more and more I look at the decisions that were made prior to the game, it just went to show that this Buffalo Bills team knew this game was going to be ugly the second that they came out, the second that they took the field, and all they wanted to do was escape for a win, right? Like, what's the #1 priority, ladies and gentlemen? Do you want to have a defense like that out during wild card weekend, during the divisional round? That's why we did that. Would you rather us have ugly defensive performances? Would you rather us have ugly defensive performances during the final 3 games of the season where we have already clinched, or would you rather us have ugly defensive performances going into the playoffs? Because rest be assured, we have been absolutely banged up for the past couple of weeks. And while I know that a lot of us are upset with how we ended up playing, at the end of the day is what it is. This team knew that we were going to struggle, especially with some of the missing pieces that are out there. Health is wealth. Health is hands down the #1 thing that I want to see from this squad. Love you, Bill. Love you, brother. Make no mistake. Still love you. All right. But listen, I talk to you like I talk to my friends. Ugly win last night. Hope Josh can recover before another division game next weekend. Ugly win last night. Hope Josh can recover before another division game next weekend. Folks, ladies and gentlemen, the Kansas City Chiefs win like this each and every single week. All right. But no, we all glaze the Kansas City Chiefs, right? Oh my God, man. Look at that. Look at that. They find a way to win. There's a difference between finding a way to win and then winning ugly, right? There is no difference whatsoever. It's just how you spin it. The Buffalo Bills ended up finding a way to win. And let me tell you what, all right? This Buffalo Bills team has accomplished just about everything that you could imagine this year, right? Like we have went 8 straight games scoring 30 points. It breaks my heart that we couldn't beat the record and go 9 games in a row. But have we won an ugly game this year, folks? No, we haven't. I don't think we have won an ugly game so far this year. Scratch that off of our resume. Scratch that off of the resume and make it happen. Ladies and gentlemen, what happened to Milano? He just came back. Bo Coro is rolling on in, and he is saying, what happened to Milano? He ended up having some sort of groin injury. And in my opinion, I think he would have played if absolutely necessary, if we were still fighting for an AFC East positional win. But they decided to give him some extra rest. And you know what? It's funny because I've been looking a lot at the chat of people that are saying, oh, dude, Milano's absolutely washed up based off of only a couple of games. But guys, if you haven't had an opportunity of looking at what this run defense looks like when Matt Milano is out on the field and when he is not out on the field, quite simply, just watch the Detroit Lions game last week when he ended up going off of the field. This defense gave up 21 points against Detroit in the fourth quarter. Coincidentally, it just so happened to be when Matt Milano was not out on the field. So Milano, hands down, is a massive piece. And then hopefully he will be back against the New York Jets on Sunday. But you know what? If the Kansas City Chiefs end up beating the Pittsburgh Steelers on Wednesday, absolutely means nothing. Absolutely means nothing. The 1 seed is gone. Kaput, finished, no chances whatsoever if it doesn't happen. I don't understand the Monday overreaction. The Bills came back against 14 points. Absolutely, man. And listen, and I would say that this defense actually did ultimately end up making some adjustments when necessary. 2 turnovers. James Cook had a hell of a game. Look, I feel like people should be worried if we have to rely on Josh Allen each and every single week to go out there and have a Superman performance like he has about 12 to 13 times this year by itself. It's just not sustainable. I'm not sure about you guys, but I'm feeling very, very good knowing that I can rely on my Buffalo Bills defense to get a couple of turnovers, which we are still number 1 in the NFL for turnover differential, as so the backlash that this defense regularly gets, you can't take away the fact that we take away the football. Like we have done it every single game with the exception of the LA Rams. Every single one of them, at least one. Several of the times we get 2 takeaways. And we've also had several games where James Cook has completely taken over the game, even if Josh Allen hasn't been having like his number 1 or his top overall performance. I feel like we should be celebrating at this point, knowing that we actually have a solid team working in front of us. Josh Allen has had a broken hand since week 1 and playing MVP caliber and won against a divisional rival. Listen, man, we ended up beating a divisional rival, all right? Yes, it was ugly, but we beat him. We beat him. Listen, man. And so I know a couple of QBs that have ugly games against divisional opponents that didn't end up winning. You know what I mean? Or they have ugly games against terrible opponents and didn't win. All right? Look at that. We still win. Our defense will be fine. Now that Dorian Williams is back, Mr. West Ashley 843, that's my guy. Big Dorian Williams guy in the chat. We already know what that's all about. It's either the Bills get 30, 40 points plus or they suck. Meanwhile, the Chiefs squeak out wins every single week. Craig Ellsworth, absolutely, right? It's all about how you frame it, okay? It's all about who delivers the news. People, when they say, oh, that Kansas City Chiefs team, they found a way to win. But if it's the Buffalo Bills, they say, oh, they suck, man. They're terrible. They struggled against the team. It's all about who delivers the news, ladies and gentlemen. There is virtually no difference to finding a way to win and barely winning. Virtually no philosophical comparison. No philosophical comparison. We're going to have to see how that plays out. Dan, would you play Milano or Williams in the playoffs? I think Williams is the better player right now. So Xavier, so I'm going to tell you about Dorian Williams, right? It's definitely a coin toss, right? Because Dorian Williams is garbage in pass coverage. Garbage. Not good in pass coverage at all. He gets burned. He's a liability out there. He's slightly better than Milano in run defense. Slightly better. That's even a stretch. I would say that they're probably about the same in overall run defense. Okay. It's just a fact. But Matt Milano exceedingly is exceedingly ahead of Dorian Williams when it comes into pass coverage. No questions asked. So, my question to you is, would you rather a guy that's really good at run coverage and elite in pass coverage, or a guy that is good in run coverage and a liability in pass coverage? I think that's what you have to ask yourself. I'm fine with them splitting snaps in the playoffs, of course, depending on what sort of team that we're playing. But I'm probably still going with Matt Milano. And I never really understood how people were saying that he was washed, especially with how this defense completely ended up falling apart once he was off of the field. Typically, I think that that would just be a telltale sign. I like Dorian Williams. I really do. And I still think that Matt Milano is going to be cut this offseason. And I still think that Dorian Williams is going to take over for him in 2025. But I'm saying if you want the best all around outside linebacker, you have to go with Matt Milano right now. It's just, I feel like there's no questions, in my opinion. Jonah, all I saw was a well-balanced offense that can pick itself up, baby. Cook was absolutely cooking. Jonah, that is the damn positivity that I need in my life, and the positivity that I genuinely hope can be passed along to everybody in the chat right now. Folks, listen, this is a therapy session. So, say, for example, that I overreact to your overreaction. Please do not take it to heart. All right. I love all of you. And it's my job to bring you back to the ledge and look at things from a wider perspective and understand we won. We won, ladies and gentlemen. We're not going to remember this game in 2 years. We are not going to remember this game in 2 years. Nobody's going to be pissed off about an ugly win for longer than 2 weeks. If you are, there's problems. It is a divisional opponent. And so if you don't believe me, go on ahead and take a look at all of the divisional matchups across the league at any given week. Last time I checked, I'm pretty sure that the Kansas City Chiefs ended up losing to the Denver Broncos off of, won a game against the Denver Broncos off of a blocked field goal attempt where Patrick Mahomes looked like absolute dog water. I also remember the Kansas City Chiefs barely beating the Las Vegas Raiders, who are clearly in the Shador Sanders contest at this point. And you look across the entire league, every single team has a game like this against the divisional opponent. So I understand being a bit concerned, but at the exact same time, anybody that's overly freaking out, I'd probably tell you to take a chill pill. I'd probably tell you to take a chill pill, right? Is what it is what it is. Greg V, offense barely used the rub routes. Defense was so confused that they had to play man. The loss of our middle of field showed up. Oh, shit. There's a B in there. It's a B. Don't worry, I killed it. It was vanilla offense. Well, Greg V, listen, I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to ask you this question. Okay? So we have some playoff games coming up in a couple of weeks. Okay? Do you want us to go on ahead and absolutely open up the playbook, especially a playbook that we have completely opened up for the past 2 weeks against the LA Rams and Detroit Lions? And do you want to go out there and have Joe Brady putting out his best absolute plays out on the field against 2 divisional opponents that have a combined record of 6 wins? No, not at all. Not at all. I honestly don't understand why we would want to go on ahead and open up the playbook against a New England Patriots team, which is currently in line for a second draft pick. This Buffalo Bills team, offense and defense included, understood that this specific game plan was to get out of there with a win without showing too much. Because like it or not, man, we have some playoff games that need to be done. And I'm actually completely fine with having a vanilla game plan at the end of the day. There's no question. There's no question about that. That doesn't say much. Balin Spector stinks and can't be healthy. Spector is absolutely terrible, and I have no idea why Dorian Williams wasn't given the nod to start at the beginning of the game. Maybe they didn't want Dorian Williams out there because they just kind of wanted to limit his snaps. He was technically questionable this year. Elam needs to be released, bro. He absolutely sucks. This is the only overreaction that I am going to allow. If you ended up seeing my live game reaction last night, I absolutely crashed out on Kyer Elam. All right. Everything that I have been spewing about Kyer Elam for the past couple of weeks was put on full display against the New England Patriots. PI after PI after PI. He's handsy. He just, listen, if you're going to be handsy as a DB, you better get away with it. Like, take a page out of Sauce Gardner's book, year 1 and year 2. That's essentially what we ended up seeing from the dude. Jordan Smith, that doesn't say much. Balin Spector, absolutely insane. What's up, Dan? Referee Bob is standing. That man took some punishment. He definitely did. Bob, so me and him had a long conversation last night. I did apologize, but he understand that it's going to happen again. It's going to happen again. I am going to beat the shit out of Bob, whether or not that I'm happy or whether or not that I am very upset, one of the two. So Bob is in there, and it's very therapeutic. I highly recommend you guys tune in right to my live game reactions from here on out, because Bob absolutely takes a beating if things are going crazy. Eric, what's going on, my guy? Hope all is well. I thought my birthday was ruined in that first quarter, but we got the job done. Jeffrey is coming in saying, I am a Bills fan, and I don't understand why Shakir can't catch balls over his shoulder and why Amari is quiet and Keon also quiet. It's always Superman and Cook. So here's the deal, Jeffrey. What if that's all on purpose? Well, like, obviously not Shakir dropping a ball over his shoulder. Like, that's certainly not on purpose, right? But as far as utilization, I have a theory, and maybe I need to go on ahead and actually chop it up with some of my buddies that actually cover the Bills as well. Just have them on the show here in a little bit, sometime later this afternoon, perhaps even tomorrow on Christmas Eve. But maybe the lack of utilization from Amari Cooper has to be on purpose. Could potentially be on purpose. I really don't know. It's like they can't comprehend you're supposed to go for the ball instead of putting your hands all over the wide receiver. Dorian Williams came in and played excellent. He's the starter from now on. Milano had 6 tackles in 2.5 games. Dorian is way better right now. My boy, Mr. Wes Ashley, he is a Dorian Williams guy. Sign me up. Sign me up. You're not worried about his pass coverage, though? So a genuine question. Like, you're not worried about his pass coverage? Like, that's like the one thing that kind of is making me halt on it a tad. I love him in the run game. I really, really do. He's developed perfectly. But the only red flag that I have from him is his inability to cover. That's my only thing. Here's the deal. I think that Dorian, well, then again, like, he was out there against the Ravens as well, right? So, like, it's kind of tough. I feel like a more run-heavy scheme, like, I'd probably trust Dorian. No. I can't even convince myself right now. I love Dorian Williams. I think that he is going to replace Matt Milano next year. But right now, yeah, I don't know. It's the pass coverage thing that gets me. With a Kansas City win, we are punting on the last 2 games. Bruh, Elam almost sold. He did. Get that man off of my damn roster. Get Elam off of this roster. Get him off. I'm just kidding. Josh with a broken hand and Mahomes with a wheelchair. The Bills got so many flags. Absolutely. Trust me. Bob was hearing all about it. Chiefs been winning like this all season. I will take a win either way. Absolutely. We played some quality Kansas City Chiefs football last night. There's no question. A win is a win. Go Bills. Carl saying offensive props go to James Cook. Defensive props go to Cam Lewis, Dorian Williams, Greg Rousseau, and also Ty Johnson. Absolutely, man. We still need to win one more to clinch the 2 seed unless Pittsburgh and Baltimore both lose on Christmas. Pittsburgh and Baltimore. We still need one more win. So need to win one more to clinch the 2 seed unless Pittsburgh and or Baltimore lose on Christmas. We're going to beat the Jets next week. Elam played good too. He had some bad calls against him, but also excellent coverage yesterday. My guy, Mr. Wes Ashley, man, he's a man of the underdog. He's a man of the underdog, ladies and gentlemen. He is a man of the underdog. The win in the win column. We have Cassius just coming in saying, I miss Douglas. People are overreacting. We got the win, and sure, the Pats are a bum, but it's against a divisional rival. And in does games, the records don't matter. Lamar lost to the Browns, and nobody said nothing. But you have to understand that the Bills have a target on their back. They have always. Elam is a bust. Dorian Gray Williams, man, look at that, man. Listen, man, we still have some some supporters of Kyer Elam. He's not that guy. He's not that guy, in my opinion. Listen, I would love to be proven wrong, but how many times, how many opportunities are we going to give him before I am a fan of Kyer Elam? You know what I mean? And so, as many of you know, I'm a Benford guy, right? I'm a massive Christian Benford guy, and I'm still going to go on ahead and hold pat that I believe that we need to go for a corner first or second round in the draft next year. That's my thing. And I have a couple of pretty good prospects I would like to look at. Elam showed me his true potential yesterday, and it was not good. He is a bust. Big A. Micah Hyde should play these last 2 games. I see why McDermott never wanted to play Kyer Elam. He's a liability damn near every snap. That's revisionist history, and our defense fell apart when Matt came back. I mean, did it though? Like, did it? Like, here's my thing, right? Like, Detroit didn't start really getting things going on offense until Matt Milano was out. Like, Milano looked really good against the run game. In fact, I'd probably have to give a lot of credit to him for holding all of those running backs to what they did. But then the second that Milano is out there, we just see Jared Goff go out there and absolutely cook. There's things to look out there for. And by no mistake, don't think that I'm sitting here hating on Dorian Williams. I'm not. I've said it again that I think he has potential to be the replacement for Matt Milano this year. But right now, I just think Milano is our best option. Bills defense has been bad since the Rams. Jordan Smith, Micah Hyde isn't going to do any better. Dano, do we bring up practice squad to play rest of the 2 games, or do we need to worry about the Ravens seeding? No. Right now, what do they have? They have, let me see, 5 losses? Right now? 5 losses? No, not at all. We just have to beat the Jets and we'll be solid. Can Cook actually cook? Oh, dude, he's been cooking all day. Even missing Damar at this point. And it's funny how the world changes, right? You are looking at the biggest Damar Hamlin supporter and guy on the internet. We're going to have to see. I see people calling us frauds, even though literally every team Kansas City played in their division, they barely beat. And I don't see anyone else calling them frauds. Listen, man, we have a target on our back, okay? Because the Buffalo Bills are playing good football, all right? And you know what? We won ugly, and that was the plan, baby. We don't want to go on ahead and show anybody anything. Hey, Bass made some kicks. Little victories in here, folks. Little victories. Greg V, nope, I would not open it up. I just made a point of them using less rubs, which shows they were playing vanilla, and hence the offense wasn't as effective. I'm fine with it. Me too, Craig. Me too, Greg. We're going to have to make this work. We have play KJ Hamler. I wouldn't even go that far. I really don't want to open up the playbook against the 3-win New England Patriots team and the 3-win New York Jets team. That's not something I'm necessarily interested in doing. That's right. Thank God Bass came through, or I would have been beyond pissed. 13 penalties on the Bills. Nah, that is the refs. Trust me, my boy Bob over here felt every single case of it. We won our division last season, which means the following season we play a first-place schedule. That's how the league works. Learn it. Learn it, baby. Learn it, man. Bob needs Tylenol. Bob needs some painkillers. He needs something heavier than some what's it called. He's also ready to go. After the week, we have Jamal Jones need to draft a pass rusher. Cassius is saying Bob needs to play on defense. He's got no hands, man. He won't be holding anybody. Nothing but perfect coverage out there. Would you rest Josh next week or the week after if the Chiefs secure number 1 on Wednesday? I'm going to rest Josh Allen final week of the season, especially if the Chiefs end up beating the Pittsburgh Steelers. He hit his funny bone, quote unquote, right? I'm not sure how much I believe that, but I do think that he needs to be out there against the New York Jets. I sincerely do. Knock off some rust. Don't go out there too rusty for the first round of the playoffs or anything like that. But yeah, most definitely. I am anticipating that this Buffalo Bills team goes on ahead and rests all of their starters on week 18. What's up, everyone? Merry Christmas to Dan and everybody. We have C. Bolam opinion on James Cook in yesterday's game. Absolutely elite. I love James Cook. Extend him now. And you know that I'm not a big extender running back kind of guy, but extend James Cook. Extend him. All right. I think that he's bag chasing. He wants to go somewhere else. But this guy, dude, like, what does he have? Like 12 touchdowns on the season already? Like, had 4 the past 2 years combined. He has really opened up this offense. I wonder what he's going to look like if and when Joe Brady becomes a head coach somewhere next year. But still insane. Can't show all the playbook until the postseason. His pass coverage is good too. That's a myth that he can't cover. Brett is coming in. I think Dorian is an upgrade from Edmonds. Hot take. True, but they just play different positions. What's good, Dan? Hector. Hope all is well. Spears, yo, Dan, can you roundhouse kick Bob in the face? Wow, dude. Honestly, man, I've given Bob enough abuse yesterday during my live game reaction. I'm gonna give him a break. I'm going to give him a break at the end of the day. We have DF Forever saying Dorian Williams pass coverage PFF is 47.5. Williams should only be out there if you are stopping the run or blitzing. If not, then put an extra safety out. We're short on them too. That is the overall issue. Listen, I'm not saying that Dorian can't get better in pass coverage. I'm just saying that it's just, I don't know. Jamal Jones beat Jets and lock up the second seed. RM56. What Bills linebacker has ever been good in coverage, though? Is Matt Milano's elite in coverage, and so is Bernard. He's pretty solid in coverage as well. I am said supporter of Elam. Joshua G is coming on in saying we have 2 best wins on the season, Kansas City and Detroit. We're going to have to knock this out. Sandman 0409. We need to get through the season. That's why we need a new cornerback for sure. Dontrell Jackson. We're still going to the Super Bowl, whether we are 1 or 2 seed this Bills year. Go Bills. And let me tell you what, a 1 seed in the AFC has not won a Super Bowl since 2016, and that was the New England Patriots, all right? Also, a 1-win team in the regular season has not won the Super Bowl, I think, since like 1970 or something. It's insane. It is a crazy stat, ladies and gentlemen. It's crazy. Wasn't Elam the guy who asked for the playbook on the plane? Why didn't he read it? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Dwight Schrager, should we sign Xavier Howard to help out our secondary? No, not at all. We have Rasul Douglas coming back. And outside of Rasul Douglas having like one off game against the LA Rams, in which that he ended up playing at least 3 quarters completely hurt, is what it is. Is what it is, man. Is what it is. Flex, my bad, dude. I didn't even see it. Uh-oh, Dan, I got more clips. TD and got your crash out. That is perfect. That is perfect. I'm glad you got my crash out on the clips. I'm looking forward to watching it a little bit later. I did it on purpose, man. I needed some damn clips. Elam showed me his true potential yesterday, and he was not good. He is a bust. It hurts to say that about a young player. We have Elam is going to make y'all eat your words when he picks off Mahomes and Lamar in the playoffs. Dude, I would season up them words, bro. I'd make leftovers. I'd be going insane. Dude, I hope, man. I hope. And you know what? So, Mr. Wes Ashley, I honestly hope, bro, that like you were in here trolling me to all levels, and I will take it like a champ because I got to see it. I got to see it. I got to see it from my guy, all right? If he shows up and listen, I will give Elam his props because he was the one that single-handedly beat the Miami Dolphins a couple of years ago in the wild card round. He single-handedly beat a backup quarterback for the Miami Dolphins a couple of years round. So he has had his games. If he can go out there, if he can go out there, ladies and gentlemen, and make a big ass play in the playoffs, man, holy shit. I will get Elam's number tattooed on my left ass cheek. All right. I promise you, I will streak down my street and get arrested and smile in my mugshot if that's what it is. All right. Listen, I am never going to be upset with this. Would Elam be playing in the playoffs? Barring an injury. Listen, barring an injury. There's maybe some snaps here and there. Man. We're going to have to see. I've made a habit of muting game commentary and turning on Dan Mitchell's play-by-play reaction in the background yesterday. It was some of the best entertainment watching our Bills. Thanks, Dan and Bob. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. I did welcome quite a few new people into the Dom Mafia community. I guess people just love me beating the shit out of Bob and watching the Buffalo Bills. So, Alexander, I appreciate that, man. Stick around because I'm sure that Bob's ass beatings are going to continue, are, are going to continue throughout the playoffs almost. We got people firing one question after another in 3 seconds. Got to slow down the chat. A lot of people, hey, man, listen, this is therapy hour, man. We have to go on ahead and talk a little. You know what I mean? All right, guys, listen, we have 191 of you on the YouTube channel right now. We have 88 of you on X rocking with me this morning, and I sincerely appreciate that. Guys, I extended the Dalton Kincaid signed rookie card giveaway because I did a really shitty job at promoting it last week, and I don't think enough people ended up joining. So, as a reminder, I am giving away a Dalton Kincaid rookie card. If you are interested and if you are watching this and you want to be a part of my giveaways, you have to be a subscriber to my YouTube channel. That is number one. And you have to leave a comment on this video once it is all said and done. I will be announcing a winner against the New York Jets on Sunday during my live play-by-play reaction. So if you want to add to your card collection, certainly make it happen. What's you, Dan? What's up, Dan? Happy Victory Monday. Ugly win for sure, but nevertheless a win. Any update on Allen's hand? I feel like he is downloading it or downgrading it or downplaying it. Go Bills. So I'm going to tell you what, Bills Mafia 718. He said that he hit his funny bone. That is the second game in a row. Or 2 games, I want to say, within the past 3 weeks where he said that he ended up hitting his funny bone. So I want to believe him. I'm not sure if I do believe him, but we're going to have to see if he ends up on the injury report, right? If he is not on the injury report, much like how we saw from Patrick Mahomes last week, then I feel like all will be good. But still, I do believe that we are not going to be getting the number 2 seed, the 1 seed. So our bye week is going to be against week 18. If the Steelers ultimately end up beating the Kansas City Chiefs, if the Steelers beat the Kansas City Chiefs on Christmas, then all bets are off. But then we would have to rely on the Denver Broncos beating the Kansas City Chiefs at full power on the final game of the season. No chat commentary unless you give to the cause. Craig Ellsworth, $5. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. You are the absolute man. Scott is coming in with another $5 donation. And now we're talking about the playoffs, but I think we should extend Greg Rousseau and extend Amari Cooper. He is still a threat. So here's the deal. Like, that is probably one of the greatest mysteries of this roster so far. And of course, I have theories. Right? Why Amari Cooper's snap count just like hasn't been there, or like why he hasn't been targeted. Number one, he's being blanketed, or number one, he's taking away from, he's being doubled, or number two, we are purposely not targeting him because we want him to be a threat in the playoffs, something that defenses aren't particularly going to be prepared for. Or maybe he's just not as good as we thought. I'm just kidding. Hopefully this ends up working out, and then I'm going to have to go on ahead and unpack this with a couple of some big brains in here momentarily. We will see. Pay Rousseau now before he gets too expensive. I agree. Extend James Cook. I'm not really one to go out there and say pay a running back, but I think James Cook has earned a new contract, if you know what I'm saying. All right. He's going to be in his final year of his rookie deal next season. I think he's due. Steelers have to hurt Mahomes. I would never. I'm not going to sit here and wish an injury on anybody because I don't want anybody to have any excuses if we end up punching the Chiefs in the mouth this year in the playoffs. That, of course, is them even making it to the AFC Championship in the first place. Should we be afraid of the Bengals sneaking in? Let's take a look. Ladies and gentlemen. ESPN playoff machine, baby. Look at that. Look at that, baby. We already got this. It is our favorite thing in the world, ladies and gentlemen, the ESPN playoff machine. I whipped this out more than my own cock. All right? Let's go on ahead and put this out there. All right? So we'll say Green Bay ends up winning tonight, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we're going to go right here. All right, so where it stands, ladies and gents, Bills are 12-3, Denver 7th seed, 9-6. LA would be playing the Pittsburgh Steelers as the 3rd seed. Baltimore Ravens are at the 5th seed right now at 10-5. Houston is at 9-6, as we know. So let's go on ahead and let's predict what's going to happen and who we are going to be playing or what these seedings are going to look like. I'm just going to go out and say that the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right. I'm going to say that Baltimore ends up beating the Houston Texans. I'm going to say that the Seahawks ultimately end up beating the Chicago Bears. I think I'll give it to the Chargers against the Patriots. I think I'll give it to the Bengals over the Denver Broncos, who are still in the 7th seed, even if the Bengals end up winning. I'm going to go on ahead and give it to the LA Rams against the Cardinals. I'm going to give it to the Bills against the Jets. I'm going to give it to the Titans over the Jaguars. They are so committed to the tank. It's absolutely insane. I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Panthers. This is going to be a really good game, but we'll just say Vikings. We'll go Saints over the Raiders. I'll go Colts over the New York Giants. I'll go Miami Dolphins over the Cleveland Browns. I will go Eagles over the Cowboys. I'll go Washington over the Falcons. And then I'll go Lions over the San Francisco 49ers, who are absolute dog water. So week 18 is going to be interesting because a lot of teams right here are solidified right in their spots already. So we're just going to say that the Houston Texans end up resting their starters and the Tennessee Titans win the final game real fast. Give me the Falcons over the Panthers. I think I could see that happening. Bucks over the Saints. Let me see what happens if the Saints ultimately end up winning it. Okay, so the Bucks are going to yeah. So Bucks will be full strength. I'm going to go oh wow. Okay, we have the LA Rams. I feel like the LA Rams will play for Seattle. Or actually, fuck it. We'll have the Patriots ultimately end up beating the Buffalo Bills next week last game of the season because we would be resting our starters. Dolphins over the Jets. We'll go Ravens over the Browns. Bengals over. And the Bengals over the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Colts are going to beat the Jaguars. We'll say Kansas City ultimately ends up beating the Denver Broncos, but they will probably be resting their starters. So we'll just say that the Denver Broncos end up winning. Even if the Denver Broncos end up winning, ladies and gentlemen, or losing, that means we play the Indianapolis Colts. And keep in mind, I have the Cincinnati Bengals winning out. I have the Chargers beating the Raiders. I have the Washington Commanders beating the Dallas Cowboys. We'll say that the Eagles lose to the Giants because you're assuming that they rest their starters. We'll go. This is going to be a game because this decides the first seed. This decides the first seed, which makes it crazy. But that's not what we're doing here. Green Bay. And then we'll ultimately end up going with a meaningless game at the end of the day. So, more than likely, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be playing the Denver Broncos. If the Denver Broncos ultimately end up losing to the Kansas City Chiefs, if the Denver Broncos lose to the Chiefs backups, then it's the Indianapolis Colts. I'm sorry, but I have the Colts beating the Jaguars. I just have that happening. All right? Let's go ahead and knock that out. Or say the Jaguars end up ultimately getting it in. Then the Dolphins would end up getting it instead. If the Jags beat the Colts and the Kansas City Chiefs backups beat the Denver Broncos, then ultimately they would ultimately end up making it in. So I think that we might as well just start accepting the fact that the Denver Broncos are going to be the 7th seed unless some really crazy shit happens. Us playing the Bengals is likely not going to happen. Guys, we have a new poll up in the chat. You do realize if the Ravens win out, we see them in the divisional. Hey, how confident are you that they can play the Pittsburgh Steelers 3 times and come out on top? Especially with a fully healthy defense that'll be coming back. Listen, this is an ideal matchup. If the Steelers could somehow take care of the Ravens right in the first, and that's completely fine. And even if we do play the Ravens, bring them on, fool. Bring them on, man. We're champions over here. If we want to be champions, we got to do championship shit. Steelers are going to beat the Chiefs. All right, Steelers are going to beat the Chiefs. Let's see how that works out. All right, so we say the Steelers beat the Chiefs. We say the Kansas City Chiefs ultimately end up beating them. It's Miami. And and listen, I'm sorry, but listen, I have a feeling that Miami, here, where they at? Where's the other Dolphins? I feel like the Jets beat Miami, or so Miami ends up getting in there. We'll go Jets here for a second. Yeah. Then it would be the Bengals. Then it would be the Bengals. But a lot of things need to happen, including the Colts losing to the worst team in the NFL that's likely going to get the first round pick. A lot of shit happens. So basically, what I'm saying, folks, is that I have a feeling it's going to be the Denver Broncos. It's very unlikely that it's the Cincinnati Bengals. What a shit show yesterday, folks. I hate when our team beats the loving shit out of good teams and then relaxes on easy teams. But here's the deal. Here's the deal, folks. Do we want this Buffalo Bills team to open up the playbook against the 3-win team? Probably not, right? I'm fine with the James Cook game. There's no question about that. Another fiver for my bro Jordan. Craig, what's up, man? I appreciate that. Thank you so much. People are forgetting our mantra of everybody eats. This week, it was Kincaid and Cook. Next week, it's going to be Coleman. Week after, it's going to be Amari. It's our identity. I'm not worried about it. Neither am I, my friend. Dolphins will probably win out, and I don't see the Broncos winning another game. So they have the Bengals, and then they also end up having the Kansas City Chiefs. So you don't trust the Broncos in beating the Kansas City Chiefs backups, is what you're saying. Not afraid of Arrowhead. We don't need the 1 seed. We walked into Detroit and got the dub. Absolutely. We have Miami and Bengals are out, but Colts need either Miami or the Bengals to win out to get the tiebreaker over the Broncos. Pitts now have to win on Wednesday. If they do, what do we do? What do we do, folks? If Pittsburgh wins, we'll say Kansas City ultimately ends up beating the Denver Broncos afterwards, because Kansas City would then need to go on ahead. And then we would likely end up playing our starters. And the Buffalo Bills are 14-3, right? Or say the Broncos end up beating them, then we would be the first seed. But I don't know. It is a sloppy divisional game. What happens? RM56, you summed it up right here. Ty Johnson was the leader receiver last week. You are correct. I wanted them to break the record of consecutive 30-plus scores. Too bad. His Majesty, you called the Patriots as winners in yesterday's game in the beginning of the year. Nope. King Keon is saying, what's up, Dan? Hope all is well today, my brother. I'm doing well, man. Hope all is well. Hope everyone is gearing up for a wonderful holiday season. I know I am. That's for damn sure. I am ready to sit back, relax, enjoy some family, some friends, throw back a couple of Christmas cocktails, my friend. And by Christmas cocktails, I mean some old fashions, glass of red wine, dude. You know what I'm saying? Some Cabernet Sauvignon. Know what I mean? Just hang out there, baby. That's what I'm talking about. So for the Dolphins to win out, Tua has to play well in 2 straight cold games. We have Knicks Tape Nation. It's just amazing how Coop doesn't complain or try to make Josh look bad. Jordan Smith, Miami and Cincinnati haven't been eliminated yet. They have not. All right, guys, listen. So the holiday season is among us. And I know a lot of you are set to cook some damn food on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. All right, like y'all are going to be in the kitchen slaving away. So tonight, I'm not going to lie to you, y'all are probably going to want to order some takeout, all right? And if you are in Western New York and you're a little hungry today, ladies and gentlemen, I highly recommend calling one of the 4 great locations in Western New York at Picasso's Pizza. If you are not in Western New York, have no fear. It's not going to be here tonight, but you can have pizza mailed to your front doorstep if you want some playoff food, right? Like maybe you want some boys over to watch a little playoff football and you want them to have a taste of Buffalo, New York. Picasso's Pizza is offering nationwide shipping. As long as you use code PARADE, you're going to be having a damn good time, brother. You're going to be having a damn good time over at Picasso's Pizza. My favorite pizza place on the face of the planet in Buffalo, New York. Go on ahead and give them a little bit of love. We already know what it is about. Okay, man, we have Mark coming in saying, presents are secured. Food is ready to cook. Merry Christmas, Mafia. Absolutely, folks. Absolutely. Merry Christmas to the Mafia. I love it. Cooper was always that guy who just wanted to win. It's why I preferred Cooper over Adams at the deadline. Adams was not compliant. I love that. No, but Colts have the Giants and Jags left to play, and they hold the tiebreaker over both Cincinnati and Miami. Micah Bell, 7 seed, is up to Miami or Cincinnati. That is incorrect. Uh, Best pizza outside of New York City, no debate. That's my guy. Why are y'all worried if we are going against the Chiefs or Ravens early in the playoffs? Like, it doesn't matter, because if you want to win a Super Bowl, you need to beat the best teams. Absolutely, man. Listen, I was on that damn train for a while where I was saying, hey, man, I would much rather stay away from this team. You know what? Forget that. I want them all, baby. I want the Bengals first round. I want the Ravens first round. I want the Chiefs and Arrowhead, because that would make this story that much more throbbing, right? Much like our D last night, much like the Buffalo Bills D last night, it was throbbing. All right. Like, I want this whole team throbbing, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I know, but Denver should get the 7 seed. Not doing anything for that day. Don't like the holidays. Brandon B, I'm sorry about that, man. Well, let me tell you what. Maybe I'll come live and just entertain you fools a little bit. Josh always does good in the playoffs. He does. Ayo, I know, man. I know, man. You missed out on a couple of pretty solid jokes the other day. Solid stuff. Solid stuff. But all right, boys, listen, I am going to do whatever I want for the next couple of hours. No, I'm just kidding. I have some errands, some last minute Christmas shit I got to do, and some laundry, the whole nine. I love each and every single one of you. Happy holidays. I will be around later this afternoon for my afternoon stream. We're probably going to unpack a little bit more playoff scenarios, who we're going to be playing, some other burning topics. I love you. I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you a little later. Peace.